Spencer, look at this. These are Kevin Stefanski's offensive ranks year by year. So 14th in points, 16th in yards. You see the high in 2023, 10th in points, 16th in yards. They switched over to Deshaun Watson and haven't been able to switch back. Bottom in points, 28th in yards, second to last in points, or third to last, and then second to last in yards this year. It's fallen off the cliff. And again, is it a matter of personnel? Could be. That's what they have to decide in the front office.
Yeah, listen, I think it's a mix of things. The personnel is a part of it. Andrew Berry certainly isn't absolved from the fact that this roster is a mess, and I know he's hit massively on this latest draft class. He deserves credit for that. It's a feather in his cap. Maybe it's enough to save his job and Kevin Stefanski's job to next year, that there's this bright future with these young guys that they have right now. But in the same breath, does that just completely absolve him from everything that's led to this point to get the roster to where it is? It's funny, the bye week provided an opportunity for us to just kind of sit back and watch some other games around the NFL. And I think that's what's so discouraging. Yes, we can complain about the roster and we can say the roster is a problem. And that's part of the context as to why things are so miserable right now on that side of the ball, and why Kevin maybe isn't having the same success. I 100% believe those things to be true. But does that mean that Kevin's totally absolved either? I watch some of these other teams that don't have, crazy talent in the NFL on their offense, and they're still able to put up, 20 points a game. They're still able to play competitively in a football game and be competitive. There's only a couple offenses that are as bad, if not worse, than the Browns right now. And I think the Browns is honestly worse in most of the major categories than even the Saints and the Titans, which are the other two offenses that I think about. They're worse in scoring, but there's some other metrics that say the Browns are just worse overall. I mean, it's been miserable. So that's why I kind of go back to it's everybody, right? The lost identity on offense, and where is Kevin Stefanski's offense really gone? I get that they pivoted and tried to build around Deshaun. That didn't work. But again, this year we're supposed to kind of be getting back to the basics on that. And getting back to the basics, they haven't even come close to leveling back to maybe where they were in terms of the league numbers that they put up before. And what's funny about that list that you flash up there is if they were scoring as the 15th or 16th best team in football, they'd probably have a pretty good shot at making the playoffs and competing against some of these top teams. Because if you're scoring average in the league and you had this defense backing you, that's a pretty good football team right there. So to see it, how badly it's dropped off, and listen, it's what I keep going back to. In the 6 years that Stefanski and Andrew Berry have been here, it's gotten worse. Everything's gotten worse. The offense has gotten worse. The roster's gotten worse. Who gets blamed for that when it's all said and done? Should they just get a pass because they had a great draft class? I don't know. But it's gotten gradually worse. And we can point fingers and say, well, this decision or that decision, the Deshaun thing sort of, bankrupted everything. Fine. But who is responsible for those decisions when it's all said and done? It's the people in charge. And that's what's made this season, I think, very frustrating for a lot of people.
The defense has gotten better. And again, I know Miles was here, Denzel was here. He did add Malik Collins. He did draft Graham, who looks like he can play. Again, it's a defensive tackle. Schlesinger was a good draft pick. But you still have three foundational pieces that you need on the offensive side of the ball that are critical. A left tackle, a wide receiver, and a quarterback. And it's a passing league. So, I'm not going to give them a complete pass.